Good morning, everybody. This is Vince with Listings to Leads, and we're going to get started in just a couple minutes. But if you could let me know if you can hear me and see my screen, we'll get started in just a minute. There's a little comments panel there, so if you could put an answer there that you can see that, let me know. This class is top tools for more listings, so we're definitely going to be discussing ways of getting more listings with the platform. If you're new to us, thanks, John. Let me know. If you've been a long-term client, of course, say hi. We'll give it just another minute as people are logging in right now. While we're waiting, I always want to give you a few of the high-level stuff. So listings leads, we've been here for 16 years. We're helping realtors build their business. Our clients typically come to us because they want more listings or they need to sell their homes. Right? They've got listings and they need to get them sold. Maybe they're sitting on the market longer because of interest rates or other reasons. And so they're coming to us because we're a low cost, effective way of doing that, of helping them. So on the left panel here, you can see a lot of the tools that are designed to help you capture leads. Those are tools to help you capture buyer leads or seller leads. Some of those tools are like free social media posts. Some are emails that you can send out through your CRM or through our platform. Some are print tools like just sold postcards or nearby homeowner letters. And others are ads on either Facebook or Google. And all of those options that I just named all can help you get sellers, help you get more listings. So there's a lot of tools just in the system, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, of how to get those into your market and to capture seller leads. Now, on the right-hand side here, these are some of the things that we have designed to help you convert leads, right? Stay on top of them. And just, I'm going to say this really up front, to convert a lead, usually I think it's going to need to be touched 10 to 15 times, meaning you got to text them, you got to email them, you got to call them. It's not one phone call or two, and then they come and meet you and sign a contract. So on the right-hand side, we have our own email drip campaigns. They're actually more powerful and more effective than any of the top CRMs. So you can turn those on for free. We build emails that you can blast out on your leads every once in a while, kind of news, topical stuff. But we also have that third item there, the AI text follow-up. And that's new, almost a year old now, I think. That is very effective at converting leads. It converts right now 12% of our leads, with the leads that have phone numbers, to a phone call. And that is great. So we'll talk a little bit about that later. And to finish that little piece up on the AI, if you're using our Facebook ad software, you're going to get leads with name, email, and phone number. And that's an important thing to be doing if you're trying to grow your business. Okay. And there are a lot of tools that capture leads here, but many of those tools just get a name and email. And if you just have a name and email and you got 5 with name and emails, you got 5 with phone numbers, you're probably going to convert the one with phone numbers first. And that's why running Facebook ads with our software is one of the smartest things you can do if you're trying to build a database of either buyers or sellers. Okay. So before we dive into the nuts and bolts of all that, I want to go through a few resources. So if you're new to us, over here on the top left is a page that says Marketing Calendar. Okay. And on the top here, it says resources. And this is a really valuable page because you can sign up for live webinars here, which we're on a live webinar, right? So that will drive you to this page, and you'll see that top tools from our listings, what we're talking about today, how to market listings, cash offer, sell at home fast, new construction. And then Scott will be doing, and I'm going to talk about this, an open house class. And this is actually really important. I was going to mention it in a moment, but we'll just leave this here and we'll go look at it. Here's the short story. What we're going to talk about today are how to capture seller leads with Facebook, with Google, with email, and with print. But capturing leads, they haven't met you, right? You used our tools, you put them here, you put them there, you capture seller leads, and now you got to convert them. Whereas open houses, you can actually invite homeowners to the open house. And now you're meeting them face to face. And this is something that our clients have been doing since spring. And we've done a lot of classes on open house marketing because a lot of our clients are getting more listings there. So what we're going to talk about today is how do you use the tools to go out and get seller leads? How do you get listing leads? I can tell you, if you're doing our open house the way that we do open houses, you're going to be meeting those people face to face. So if you want more listing contracts, what do you think? Can you convert more people into business if you've met them or if you got their name, email, and phone number on the internet? So that is the open house class next week. Every class that we do, we record and we put it on this YouTube channel. And that link to that YouTube channel is right over here, right? So you can click that green button, that'll take you to our YouTube channel. And if you use this magnifying glass, you can actually look up open house and see the last class that we did on open house. You can see all kinds of things here, or top tools for more listings the last time I did that class. Look for our listing presentation. There's just a lot here on this page. If you're trying to grow your business, it's worth investing some time to look at what we're doing here. And then the last thing that's a great resource is our mastermind group. And the mastermind group you can get to right over here. Join group, it'll bring you here. There will be a button over here on the right that says join group, and fill out a couple questions and put that in there. I do want to point something out. Yi just is talking about something that I saw that I thought is very interesting. Now, the point of today's class is obviously how do we get listings? But we also help people, agents, get buyer leads too. And Yi has been running down payer assistance landing page ads. Now we create that landing page automatically. It's sitting in every one of your accounts. But you can see here that she's been running ads for a couple weeks. She spent $275. She has 46 leads with name, email, and phone number, 8 real conversations, 1 loan app submitted, and 3 more actively working. So there's a lot of ways to capture leads with our platform. She's also using our AI software to convert those leads. So it's shortening the length cycle of taking the lead from being just capturing the lead and getting it into a phone call. So that's really worth checking out. You'll see that in the mastermind group, and she posted that over the weekend. So I'll leave the mastermind group there. We may come back to that. Again, all of our classes are live classes. You can sign up here. And this class, like every other class, is being recorded, and it will be on that YouTube channel. Now, this is a cheat sheet that I have. This new platform that we're using, StreamYard, it's hard to, I can't give this to you. If you want this doc, email me at vince@listingstoleads.com and ask me this. I actually think this is a very important piece of paper. And it's something that if you want more listings should be sitting on your desk. And I'm going to read through it and tell you what they are. And then I'm going to show you where to find these tools. Number 1, mail out a nearby homeowner letter to local homeowners. That is a letter, it's a piece of paper that we design every time you have a listing in your system. And it will say, hey, we just listed something, and that's going to affect your home value. Click here to get your home value. When you sell the property, you change the status to sold, the letter is going to say, hey, we just sold this in your neighborhood. Go check it out. And below, that affects your home value. And this is also the letter that our clients use in their open house marketing, because it'll say, hey, we have an open house on Saturday, 1 to 4. Check it out, come by. And down below, that's going to affect your home value. So this simple piece of paper, you will see in a little bit, it is on the top of this list because it gets the highest quality seller leads, right? And if you're using it with an open house, you might very well get homeowners who are thinking of selling their home walking through your open house. And then when you watch our open house video, you'll see there's a lot of ways to really brand yourself and promote you as the agent in that. So number 2 is running ads on Facebook for pending, under contract, and sold listings. You can run them on all these stages, depending on your local rules. And all of the call to actions are all saying that these affect your home value. Click here for your home value. Now we'll see how to run that in a minute. You can also create property valuation pages, right? And so most of you live in areas where you're focused on, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, maybe 10 different farm markets. Me, I'm in Lafayette. I focus on Lafayette. I focus nearby in Walnut Creek and in Concord and Danville. And so I have landing pages for all of those areas, right? You may need that too. Landing pages are unlimited in your account, and you can create them in just a couple minutes. So you create that, and whenever you create that landing page, you can customize it so it looks like your area. And then you have email, you have print, you have free social media posts, and you have ads on Facebook and Google to get people to the landing page. And that's where number 4 is, right? You create the landing page for number 3, you run ads to drive people to it on number 4. And then number 5 here, it says you can also use Facebook and Google for our seller PDF guides. Now, you may not know this, but you all have 80 PDF guides in your account, and 40 are for homeowners. So just like the landing pages, you can use print, you can use email, you can use free social media, or you can run ads on Facebook and Google to get people to those, to download them, as long as they give you their contact information. And then, as I mentioned, the PDF guides, there are different ways of marketing those. There's a home sold report, which is a lot like our nearby homeowner letter. It just talks about what's sold last month, right? And that letter will have a link that points people to the home valuation page. That's really good. Now we have e-flyers for every listing, and if they're later stage listings, actually every e-flyer for your listing, whether it's just listed, open house, pending, or sold, is going to always say, hey, here's the house, go check it out on top, and down below, that's going to affect your home value. Click here to get your home value. So marketing your listings with email have call to actions, just have call to actions. And then here it says get sellers to share their tools. So we actually design tools for you that are designed for you to send to the homeowner. And that way, when they share them on their walls, like Facebook and social media stuff, their friends and family who they communicate with, they're telling their friends and family that you are their realtor, and that maybe you just listed their home, or maybe you're hosting an open house. But when you've sold a home, the tool is going to say, hey, we just sold our home and we want to recommend you. And if anybody clicks on that, you're going to land on a page where it has all kinds of information about you and all your listings and landing page. A lot of ways to capture leads there. So the tools that we send to you for the homeowner, I think sometimes they're confusing. I think agents receive it and they really don't know what to do. I'll show you what to do with it. It's really smart. The last thing on this list says, and it says advanced. And when I created this doc, it was before NAR threw the buyer's agents under the bus. And this was advanced then. I think today, because of the compensation for buyers, a lot of agents are thinking, I need more listings. And so what was number 11 on this list should actually be number 1. And that means if you are going to seriously compete and dominate a farm area, any city, any neighborhood, you need to start with a list, a list of homeowners, right, that own homes in that area. That makes sense. But what can you do with that? With that, you can mail tools like the nearby homeowner letter or the just sold postcards to those people. And since you bought that list, you know they've owned it for X number of years or more. That's a smart thing to do. You can also take that same list and upload it in your CRM. And with that, we have a lot of email tools. We've got content for you to email those people every week throughout the year. And there would be something that's valuable to those people with call to actions built into the emails. So you can do that for free. There's not much of a cost to send out email. To mail, there's obviously a cost there. But you can also take that list of homeowners and upload it into Facebook and then run ads to those people only. I don't know if you run ads on Facebook, but if you run ads on Facebook, you may not have gotten leads, right? It's actually a little more complicated. And a lot of agents have heard, oh yeah, I get a lot of people say I get a lot of leads from Facebook. It's great for my business. And an agent tries it and it's like zero, nothing's really going on. And that's because there are a lot of options there, right? And one of the most challenging options, you actually have no option over, you have no control over. And that is when you run an ad in any town, you have a 15-mile radius. And where I live, in 15-mile radius means 500,000 people see my ad that I'm not actually trying to target. We'll look at that a little bit later. But when you have a custom audience, you're just targeting the people on that audience, right? And there are companies like Remind, right, .com, which is not the best. but I think a lot of people have heard of Remind. You can buy a list of homeowners with name, email, and phone number. And remember what I'm saying here. You want a list of homeowners that have owned a home for at least 5 years. And you might want to start this with your number one farm market, right? You need their name, email, phone number, and mailing address. And that's what you're going to build your listing business on. Okay. Now, there are also, and I see questions coming in. I'm going to just go through these companies and then I'll answer your question. So feel free to put them in if you have them right now. Now, RedX does that, right? They sell the same kind of list and List Source and Arch Agent. And the reason why I name these companies is because agents, when they're talking to me, say, oh, I'm getting those lists from these companies, right? And some people say, oh, this one's really cheap and this is really effective. What is important to me and you is that you have their name, phone, email, and mailing address. Okay. So you start there and then you take this and you start executing on that list. Okay. So I see a question here. So far, this sounds good, but only if I have a listing. What about agents that don't have listings? There's actually a lot of tools to help you, but we're just getting into that. Okay. And obviously here, Eloisa, what I've just gone through saying, hey, get a list of homeowners and start marketing to them. You don't need listings for that. You have a target audience, right? So let's dive into the system and let's talk about that, what I was talking about, which is the custom audience. So you go buy that list somewhere, right? And if you run ads, and a lot of clients, let me show you the number one thing that agents like to do to get more listings. And then they often come in the mastermind group and say, oh, that's not working, right? They come to this page. Actually, they go here to this page. They go to the landing page ad, and they click marketing tools because that would make sense. Let's market that free home value page. I want seller leads. So what am I going to do? I'm going to click Facebook. That's what I want to do. That's what everybody's talking about. That's what I want to do. And they do exactly that. They might type in their location, right? Like Walnut Creek's right next to me. So that's what they would do. What they would not do, though, is they wouldn't put they don't change the picture. This doesn't look like Walnut Creek to me. And it doesn't say Walnut Creek anywhere in here. So often agents don't get a lot of results here. There's also another thing, which is this is a traffic ad. And this is really important. When you see an ad like this and it's traffic, what it means is when people click on it, they drop on the page that you're promoting. Please stop retired. Not sure what that means, Mary. So here is the landing page, right? And so when you land here, this is how it works. It says, what's your homework? And what do? It says, type in your address. Okay, so you type in your address and you go get value estimate. And at this point, it's going to go to the next page that says, great, we need your email address to give you the home value, right? And at that point, people just stop. They just don't want to give you that information, okay? And that's why we have, if you go in the landing page section, you'll see that we have a partial lead converter, which is it's an upgrade. I think it's like $30 a month or something. And it reaches into Cole Resource and Cole Information, Cole Resource. They have a database of everybody, right? And so if you get their address, we reach into that and get their contact information and give it to you in the lead. But if you're using mail, or if you're using Google, or you're using a traffic ad, meaning you're using Facebook to do a traffic ad, it's going to drive here, and then they may not want to give you their email address. And that happens, and that's what the partial lead converter is for. But you might not even get that. This is literally one of the fastest ways to waste your money trying to get seller leads. And we see it all the time, right? And so there's some steps that you want to create. You want to create a unique landing page, right? You want to go create landing page on a landing page, and you want to create Property Valuation Plus. I think we're going to change the name soon to make it something that everybody understands. But anyway, Property Valuation Plus, and then you type in the name of your favorite town, okay? And whatever town that is, right? You could go Walnut Creek, and boom, that would create a generic looking landing page. It will look kind of like this with a laptop and a cup of coffee. You want to not go out and market generic. You want to, I've got something for Walnut Creek right here. So this is my Walnut Creek landing page. It's not the right one, but it's got a picture of Mount Diablo. So probably don't know this. Mount Diablo is the big mountain behind Walnut Creek, right? Oh, this is actually my Walnut Creek one. And this is actually the mall, the biggest mall in the whole county. And this is like the fountain where everybody hangs out and listens to music, right? So everybody in Walnut Creek would know this, right? And you want something that shows people without you meeting them that you know their area. And that's why my landing page looks like that. Okay. So let's kind of walk through. I got the landing page, I created it. What would I do to market it? And this is why custom audiences are really important, because when I click on that, first thing we say is, let's write an ad on Facebook. And here's the thing that I want all of you to change. You see this, it says traffic. That means it's going to point them here. And even though my page looks like Walnut Creek, still might not get email addresses. If I change this, notice, to lead ads, that means that when look at the video or look at the ad on the right, it's almost identical. Very little has changed. But now when people click on that, this little window pops up like a chat panel, and it says, would you like that information? And it's, yeah, here's my name, email, and phone number pre-populated for my profile. Okay. So nobody's typing anything in. And you may not know this, but you need your name, email, phone number in there, because if you ever get locked out, that happens almost every week that Facebook says, hey, we're going to send you a text to get into your account, just to keep things secure. Lead ads are the way to go. And if you remember, I was talking earlier in the Mastermind group, and I said, hey, this agent here, Yi, is running ads in the Mastermind group on down payer assistance, and she's having conversations. It's because she's using lead ads that have the phone numbers, and she is using our AI to help convert. So you can do the exact same thing with this too. So this one actually says, what's your Walnut Creek home potentially worth? But you could also go up here and say, what is and just click in the box and say Walnut Creek home worth. Now, and if you wanted to get fancy, and there's nothing wrong, you can say recent home sales affect your home value. And you can say 30 homes sold last month, whatever the number is, right? And 30 homes sold last month, and the high was whatever, right? The high was 500 grand. And you put that there, and people start to pay more attention to that. Now, I want to show you the challenge and the reason why you want to have, I'm going to just type in Walnut Creek. And show you the problem of doing this, because this kind of makes sense, right? I've made a custom page that shows Walnut Creek. I have Walnut Creek in the text. There's Walnut Creek there. So you would think, if I do this and I run an F $50, I'm going to get 7 leads with name and phone number. Really? Okay. But here's the rub. You see that radius, minimum 15 miles? Depending on where you live, that could be a real problem. And let me explain to you what I'm talking about. This is the other kind of hurdle of running home valuation ads. This is a map here of Walnut Creek. And I don't know where you guys are, right? You're all over the country or in Canada. But depending on the density of where you live, this might be relevant to you. And I'll make it very clear what I'm saying here in just a moment. So this area here, let's see if I can shrink this. This area that I'm circling my mouse in is Walnut Creek, okay? There's about 30,000 people that live there. A 15-mile radius is actually wider than what we can see here, okay? What that means is when I run this ad on Facebook, literally at least 500,000 people are going to see this ad that don't live there, don't even own there. They might be driving through getting gas. They're going to see that ad. That's why this kind of ad can be problematic. And that's why when I say, hey, go get yourself a custom audience list, that's how you overcome that radius deal. You go over here to ads and you create a custom audience. And this custom audience will live in your private Facebook account. You see this blue button up here? It says create audience. You click that. And you can call it Walnut Creek Homeowners. But here's the thing that you got to know. It has to be 1,000 leads long. Okay. 1,000 contacts. So whoever you buy it from what? Remind, RedX, Arch Agent. It has to be 1,000 leads. And this is important if you're in the neighborhood where there's 500 homeowners. It won't work. You can upload it, but you won't be able to target it. Okay. You won't be able to use it. But if it's 1,000 leads, and we have teams working in Houston, they have 3 lists, 10,000 names each, right? Of all the people that live in Houston. And they're a serious team. They run ads and they use this to do that. So that needs to be 1,000, and then you click upload, and then you click import. If you can't maybe see it, but this spreadsheet needs to have 4 columns with those headers. Okay. You should do it in a CSV, not in Excel. It seems like CSV works a little bit easier. And then when you put it up there and you run the ad, again, and I'll walk through it again, I'm going to do a property valuation. Want it on lead ads. If you see that, don't forget that. And I want to do Walnut Creek because I got that page there. I can even type in the zip code here. And this is cool, actually. When you type in the zip code and you make that blue like that, this pulls sales data from the area. So it automatically drops it in your ad, which can be really effective. You should test this out. This could help, right? 26 homes sold in Walnut Creek, highest price 2.2, affects your home value. Get your free home value, right? So instead of typing in Walnut Creek and 500,000 people up here on the top, I'm going to click this box that says retarget current leads or custom audience. And then when I type in Walnut Creek homeowners in that box, it's telling Facebook only hit those people on that list. And since you bought that list yourself, and that's the right group of people that you want to run that kind of ad to. You only need to do this for this particular kind of ad, this kind of home valuation for a different area. Since we're on the ads section, let's talk about some other kinds of ads that actually capture seller leads for you. And we started with a hard thing first, which is unusual, but maybe it's good we do that. Let's go to Facebook and let's do a listing ad. So I mentioned it in the spreadsheet that you can actually run ads on properties that are sold or under contract, and you would get seller leads, right? And so the way that it works is you choose the property that's sold. Over here it says another home is sold and your home value is going to change. You could do this. I was talking to an agent on Friday and he said, yeah, I sold it in 2 weeks and I got, 15 grand more, right? So sold over asking, right? Whatever you did, because that makes homeowners pay attention, right? So if they're seeing this, this is a fast, easy way to get seller leads. Now, you'll notice that it says Auburn because it's in Auburn and it's a 15-mile radius. It's not so critical to have that custom audience targeting those homeowners in Auburn. It's not that critical because this ad, the way that it's designed, if I sold a home in Walnut Creek and I live here in Lafayette and I see the ad in Lafayette, it's okay. It works. Oh, you sold something over there? That's 10 minutes away. You know my market, right? It's different for a sold ad. You don't need to worry about the custom audience as much. I do want to point out, let me ask, have any of you run ads, even without us, on Facebook for seller leads? Has anybody, just give me a yes or no here. Because when we go out for buyer leads, and when we use our software to get buyer leads, the average cost of a buyer lead is $3 each. And every lead comes with name, email, and phone number, okay? But the average cost of a lead like this for a sold property is $7 each. Oh, okay, Danielle, yes, you did. Okay, good. And Danielle, how did that go when you ran the ad for seller leads? Did you get leads or how did that work? What was that cost? Very expensive and no success. So what did you do, Eloisa? Very expensive and no success. What kind of ad did you run? So when you run an ad like this, these leads on average cost $7 each. Okay. And that's pretty low cost for a seller lead. You remember when I said, hey, let's run the ad on the home value page? Those leads can cost $15 each, and sometimes even more than $20 each. Okay, so that's expensive. And Eloise is saying 50-50 on leads, but it didn't invest much. Okay, so very expensive. I did it on my own. Oh, you did it on your own. That means, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of ways when you go on Facebook to run ads. There's a lot of options, and most of those options waste your money. That's why you need to run ads only in our platform with our tools, because we're always getting name, email, phone number. So anyway, here, the cost of the lead here is $7 each. Okay. And you can see that if we have $50, you divide 7 into 50, you would expect 7 leads with name, email, and phone number. You just click that button. We've clicked everything else. I tend to get more buyer leads than sellers, but very low conversion. I'm thinking I didn't do it correctly. Yeah. A lot of our clients, just so you know, really only focus on getting buyer leads. They all want sellers, but they have learned, and we certainly know, that buyer leads are often homeowners looking around, looking at competitive homes. And our questions in our follow-up will always say, hey, do you own a home? Do you need to sell before you buy, kind of thing, right? So the buyer leads are cheaper, but the seller leads they're straight up, in this ad, they want their home value, right? Now, I do also want to say this. Lead conversion that I've seen is like 1 to 5%. Okay, 1 to 5% of leads get converted by our clients. The average is 1%. But our clients who are using like any kind of AI text follow-up, something to automate the touch points, they're converting 5%. And it's usually teams, stuff like that, groups of agents. Now, over here on the leads tab on the far left, there's a little window where you can sign up for our AI text follow-up. And our AI text is converting 12% of our leads from Facebook to a phone call. And I'm pretty sure most of you are pretty confident on the phone, right? So I would recommend that. I would recommend to every agent to be spending, I don't know, $200, $300, $500 a month on Facebook ads, capturing leads and using some sort of AI. Ours, of course, is going to be great. To convert those leads to phone calls and turn those phone calls into business. Okay. Now, this one here is a sold ad, but let's talk about another kind of ad that we can run to get seller leads. And a lot of agents do this, but some do, and they come back and they're like, wow, this is really good. If you run an ad on a home that is pending or under contract and you still use lead ads, so you get name, email, and phone number, because the price of a lead is set by Facebook the minute you click create ad, and it's auction based. So if you're running an ad and lots of other agents in your area are running the same kind of ad, your lead cost is going to go up, right? Your cost per lead. So if you got a $50 ad, you got a lot of competition, a lead could cost $20, right? But not many people run pending and under contract ads, right? This is pending. So when they price it, I've seen these leads cost $3.50 each, which is really 50% off our lowest average lead price. So it's worth testing that if you can do that sort of thing. I will say this. I feel like when anybody on the internet or on Facebook sees this, they don't actually know what you're saying. It says it's very clear, right? It says another home in Berkeley is under contract and going to close soon. When that sold, it will affect your home value. And that's just, people just glaze right over that. So it doesn't always work, but it's definitely worth testing because you might get yourself really low cost seller leads. Okay. If they're charging $350, you divide $350 into this, you would expect, I don't know, 12 something plus leads, right? Create ad, it's done. So let's just continue to go through the Facebook side of things. We've already done a couple landing page ads, but I mentioned that we have PDF guides. So let's create a PDF guide. So when you hit PDF guide, the first option is, do you need buyers or sellers? And obviously, because we're talking about listings, let's focus there. And you could say, hey, you know what? Somebody actually this morning, I was talking to an agent. She's like, yeah, I want to talk about foreclosures, right? How do I avoid foreclosure? There's one right here. Create ad. Lead ads means I get name, email, phone number every time. And I create ad, and we've completely run we built this thing. All you need to do is type in the location. And this time, even though I'm doing Walnut Creek, I don't care that it's showing up in a 50-mile radius because I would help sell homes over there too, right? And everything is written. When they hit and they give you their information, just click create it. They can download that PDF guide immediately. Now, in case you don't know that, the PDF guides have their own tab on the far left. And there are a lot of reasons to use these, really, with follow-up, especially if you're getting seller leads. You should print up a PDF guide once a week and mail it over. When you're capturing buyer leads, you can get a large volume of buyer leads. It's not easy to get a really large volume of seller leads. So you want to have more, you want to really focus on how to convert those. And one great way is, hey, print up any of the 40 ones of these for homeowners, which is the seller PDF guide. Print them, put your paperclip, your business card, put it in an envelope, and just leave it at the door. You can knock and say, hey, I wanted to give this just in case. But there's all kinds of value here that's going to help somebody who's thinking of selling their home. Every page of every one of these documents is branded to you with your logo and your picture and your contact information on every page. So use these when it's time to start converting. But you can also, let's go here, right? I know in the Mastermind group, I'm going to click on the 12 mistakes to avoid. You can run an ad on Google, and that's super easy. And those leads, just so you know, cost more. Just as a take a break and high level, Facebook is the number 3 website in the country. Okay, number 3, which is significant. But Americans spend about 40 minutes every day scrolling through and looking at their phone and looking at the feed and seeing what their friends did over the weekend and seeing what their grandkids are doing and all that nonsense, right? Cats, recipes, you name it. So it holds American adults on eyeballs for 40 minutes a day. And that's why when you run an ad, you can capture leads. But when somebody has a question like, hey, where do I get a good steak in New York? Or where I need a hotel in Miami? Or how do I sell my home? Or what does it cost to sell my home? Or what do I do? 86% of the time, that happens on this website, Google, which is the number 1 website in the country. Okay. And I think in the world. That's why you need to be, if you're thinking of getting listings, that's why you want to be running ads with these PDF guides on Google. We do everything for you. We make it 2 clicks and you can get seller leads, more expensive seller leads than Facebook leads, but higher intent leads, right? They actually had a question. They typed in some words on Google and we have the keywords built in. And if it matched and they like your answer, they click on it, they give you their information. That is a high quality lead. So I don't typically tell people to start with Google, but the longer you've been in the industry, the more you know how important it is. You can get a lot of seller leads with Facebook. You can get a lot of seller leads with our print stuff, and you can get a lot of seller leads with our email tools. And that will keep your costs lower. When you get the machine working, add some budget to Google because you're going to get not a huge volume of leads, but very high quality leads from Google. Definitely. Okay. So what kind of time do we have? Oh, we got 20 minutes. Yeah. Okay. So just as I'm looking at some notes here from some of you, and I'm going to repeat this just in case, here's how I think you should think about your farm market. And you might have multiple farm markets, but you got to think about each one this way. You should try to be running an ad to that group of homeowners. We're assuming you're starting with a list of homeowners. Run an ad targeting them with the custom audiences once a week. That could be a $35 ad or a $50 ad, right? Once a week. Take that same list of homeowners, put it in your CRM, and send an e-flyer. Maybe it's on a PDF guide. Maybe it's on your just sold property. Maybe it's on a landing page once a week. Okay. And then once or twice a month, mail something to them, like the nearby homeowner letter or the home sold report or a just sold postcard. So the whole point is if you have this list of homeowners who you know already own homes, You're not randomly throwing stuff into the world and hoping something sticks, right? You're actually targeting people who have owned a home, who are most likely going to be thinking of selling a home if they own a home for more than 5 years. And you're sending them value on Facebook, in email, and in print. That's what real companies do, right? They target you multiple directions. They can afford TV, right? I don't know if you can afford TV, but that would be good as well. Do all these things and add TV, but that's always expensive, right? So you're hitting your target market from 3 different areas: print, email, and ads. And you can do that even on Facebook and Google, right? Let's go. And so that's like how you approach this list. I do want to say, because somebody is saying here about the how little they ran. If you're an agent, and this is just talking about Facebook, and I sincerely mean this, and I think Scott would agree. If you're green, and when people ask me how much should I spend on Facebook, if I say if you're green and you don't have any budget and you have no name recognition, spend $200 a month. That's $150 ad every week. Okay. If you just focus on buyer leads and you spend $200 a month, you would have 70 buyer leads every month, right around there, plus or minus. But your business page, because it's going to say sponsored by your business page, would be seen for $200 probably around 10,000 times. Okay. 10,000 times every month. And think about that. I don't know. There's a lot of you on the call. I don't know where you are. I don't know how many thousands of agents you compete against, but does anybody see your business page or know that you're a realtor 10,000 times a month? Are you able to get that out there? If you are, please let me know in the chat panel. Okay. And yeah, so that's why if you're green, you need to spend 200. If you're managing 2 or 3 listings, you probably already know you should be spending 3 or 4 or 500 a month, and you should be marketing your home when it's just listed. You should market again when it's open house, maybe market it when it's pending, and definitely when it's sold, and then throwing in a landing page ad, first time home buyers ad, that sort of thing. You're mixing up your ad. So imagine if you're spending 500 a month instead of 200 a month, now your business page is being seen 20,000 plus times every month. And the value that you're sending in those ads, it's going to build your brand, that you are doing a lot in real estate. And a lot of our clients who run like 5+ ads every week will tell us, I just get phone calls now from people randomly that see my ads on the internet. They said, oh, we see you all over the internet. They're really just seeing them on Facebook. And that's because it's just so powerful to build a brand. So I would definitely recommend thinking of that. Now, Luis has a good question. A lot of people are looking to Chat GPT instead of Google. And I don't know. I don't really have an answer. I know we look at Chat GPT and there's a lot of research going on, but I don't know. Chat GPT is looking at the internet for answers, right? And so they might do something in terms of what is your home worth? How do I sell my home? They might do that kind of search there. But I always think, because I don't think ChatGPT is real time connected to the internet. I think they are looking 2 years ago. And so a lot of realtors find us on ChatGPT, right? But I don't know about how to market a home there. And we haven't cracked that yet. We have a serious technology thing that we're going through right now. We probably will look at that, but maybe not until next year. But I don't think ChatGPT is real time. And when you're selling homes, that is real time, right? I got a listing now. I need to sell it in 2 weeks, right? So no delay. I don't know yet about where ChatGPT fits in that. So we talked a lot about Facebook and Google. Let's go look. And we've talked about landing page with PDF guys. I do want to talk about something totally different, because I think you now see that you can get, let's go to listings and let's talk about the email marketing. Hopefully you all have CRMs. And if you don't, go to our follow-ups here and turn on our drip campaigns and sign up for our AI text follow-up. Even if you have your own CRM, I would imagine you don't get a lot of phone calls from your leads in your CRM. You just have a drip campaign working on it, right? Our follow-ups, our email follow-ups are actually closing appointments for our clients. And one of the big reasons why is that we embed our landing pages and PDF guides automatically in every other message. So if you have a CRM and there's a lot of top brands that you're all using right now, and you look at those drip campaigns, what are they sending? They're usually sending really awesome stuff for people to read. And unfortunately, we're not as good as reading anymore because everybody scans stuff in 15 seconds. Our emails are really short, they're real crisp, and they actually get in the inbox and they get opened at, I think, a higher rate than many of the leading CRMs in the country. So if you're like wobbly on a CRM and you don't really have it put together, you don't know how to use it, or you have it and your drip campaign's working and it's not making your business grow, turn ours on right here. Okay. And that's email. Under leads, we actually have AI text follow up. And again, if you're going to focus on Facebook leads, which I think we would highly recommend, you can convert those leads a lot faster when you have AI texting them and asking them very basic questions. Okay. I wanted to go over here to talk about the email marketing, because if you have a CRM, you have a bunch of leads there, and you should be able to copy content from other platforms and drop it into your CRM and blast your leads. Okay. So I have a home that's open house here. So let me click on that and show you what I'm talking about. And let me say, so whenever you see the words e-flyer for your database, that means e-flyer for your CRM. So I click on that and it says, hey, got an open house, click there or there, and you're going to land on a page and become a buyer lead. If you scroll down, it says this is going to affect your home value. Click there or there, you're going to land on my landing page and become a seller lead. Even the signature has get your home value and click for my reviews, which has a ton of lead capture. So this flyer has call to actions all over the place, right? You copy it here, copy it with signature, or copy it for follow-up boss. And you take it over to your CRM and you blast it on your leads that are already sitting there. You should be taking any of our emails, e-flyers for your database, and hitting your list once a week. Okay. And you remember I was telling you, like, hey, go buy a list of homeowners and hit those people once a week. Yeah, you should be doing that too. Okay. But what we're looking at here is an open house. You would have a similar flyer when you just listed something. You would have a similar flyer when you just sold the property. So you have like multiple times with each listing to email your audiences, right? Your leads. Over here on the PDF guide, we talked about running an ad, but here again is e-flyer for your database. So you can copy this and put it and that link, and these all capture leads, right? If you're, we have a lot of clients from Keller Williams, and Keller Williams has a platform called Command, and Command doesn't make it very easy to do this. They're not really, I've looked at it a few times. It seems like getting third-party HTML into that is, I don't think I've seen how you do it, but every other CRM tends to allow this. And so whether it's a PDF guide or whether it's your listing or whether it's a landing page like Walnut Creek Home Values or Nearby Home Sold, there's going to be HTML that you can grab and blast on your leads. Okay. So that's why at the beginning I said, go get yourself a list of homeowners, right? And get their email and put them in Facebook so you can run ads directly at them and mail things to them. Right. So let's go over, because I haven't even talked about, I did talk about it earlier, but remember at the top of that list, the number one tool is the Nearby Homeowner Letter. That it's been the number one tool, not because Scott and I think it's super cool. It's because our clients have been telling us like we get the best seller leads, and they keep coming in the mastermind group and talking about how they are getting it into the market. So it's right here. It's on every listing. A lot of our clients will mail out 1 or 200 when they have a home just listed. And when it's sold, they update the status and they mail out another 1 or 200. Okay. So let's look at it and see why people want to be doing that. You can download it in PDF guide. You can do it yourself at home, right? You don't have to use our printer. We have Express Copy integrated here. I'll tell you why in just a moment. But let's look at the letter. And you remember how I was saying like people can't read anymore? This is exactly why this letter works so well. It's not a heavy read. It says, we sold this home in your neighborhood. Go here, check it out, scan here, check it out. If you land there and this home is sold, it's going to say, hey, that home sold, get your free home value. That affects your home value, right? So those two things are going to drive them to a page there. This says that affected your home value, and here's how many homes sold. Go here to get your free home value. And you know what this is, right? We've been looking at this kind of all day. So that piece of paper, if you mail it to people with equity, that's a smart thing to do, right? I sold a home in your area. Affects your home value. Go there. We already said that you're going to have custom audience because you bought that, right? So now you have the audience to point that to. You could also, if you wanted, if you don't go through the hoops of buying that list, Express Copy, here's a national printer, they have the list. So if you have a connection with them, you'll see this green button that says print and mail. And let's look at that real fast. What does that mean? That means if I click get mail list and I say, hey, please, you guys mail it for me. I don't want to touch it. Only mail it to people who owned a single family home for more than 6 years. Okay. That's like really smart to do. Remember how I told you buy a list of people who own a home for 5 years? 6 is close enough, right? And all you have to do is go bang, submit order, and they will download the letter. They'll fold it. They will mail it from your address to their address. And you already know they own single family homes for more than 6 years. This is something that you want to do, especially if you want more listings in this area where you actually have a listing, right? So this is very different from a Facebook ad. If you mail out 100, you might get 2 or 3 leads. They will be very high quality leads. You need to develop a way to convert those leads. If you run a Facebook ad on a sold property, which you could literally do right here, you would probably get for $50 7 leads. They're not as high quality. You don't know who clicked that. You don't know if they own a home. You don't know how long they owned a home, right? Whereas if you did the nearby homeowner letter, you know exactly who you sent it to. And since this home is sold, and here are the words e-flyer for a database, you should be letting people, especially the people inside of your CRM, let them know that you sold the property. This home is sold. Go there. You're going to be asked to get your home value right there. That affects your home value. It's all the same thing, right? You want to use a lot. You want to be repetitive in what you're doing. Get out an email every week, run an ad every week, mail something once or twice every other week, right? Hit your target market. All these things we've been talking about are designed to get you seller leads, right? Now, I'm going to repeat myself because some of you have come on late. What we've been talking about is capturing leads of homeowners. But at the very beginning of the call, I mentioned that our open house marketing is getting seller leads all over the country for our clients right now. Ever since spring, everybody realized like, hey, if we do open houses the way that Listings Leads does open houses, we get homeowners in the house. And then we've got these marketing tools that are already designed for me. And it starts the conversation with the neighbors who own homes. That's why if you email me and ask about open houses, I'm going to send you an email that tells you that some of our clients are holding 2 to 4 open houses every weekend, every week, even if they're not their open houses, they're borrowing from their office. And I know somebody was here saying, this is all about people with listings, but what if I don't have listings? I would tell you, Eloisa, I tell everybody this, and we have some calls this summer from like our long-term office clients who have been in the industry for 20 plus years. Okay. They know what they're doing. And they are telling us, yeah, we're doing 2 to 4 open houses every weekend. And we have so many leads from buyers and sellers by doing just that. So we do a class. You can find it on our YouTube channel about open house marketing. That's a shortcut, guys. That is a shortcut because what happens if you're using open house marketing? You're inviting buyers and sellers into the home and you are meeting them, right? You're probably going to be better when you shook hands with somebody and say, hey, I'm a realtor. I'm sitting on this open house, right? As opposed to you using any of the tools that I'm mentioning here and capturing leads and trying to figure out how am I going to get them into at least a phone call. All that being said, we definitely have clients doing and acting on what I've been talking about for the last 55 minutes. And what I want to show you is that we have a listing presentation that you have to take to every meeting you are meeting. And our clients are using this with canceled, they're reaching out to canceled homeowners, to FSBOs and expireds, and they are customizing this to that particular home. Okay. And if you get yourself in a listing presentation, actually, I was talking to a realtor who just joined EXP, and her coach or whoever brought her in, her TL, said, hey, you need to get 5 listings in 8 months, 8 weeks, 8 weeks. So she started reaching out to FSBOs. And what I'm showing you here is on my listings page. And I showed you like open house listings, and I showed you sold ones. So this one is listing presentation. What does that mean? That means that you can create our listing presentation for one homeowner and their home. And that's going to help you close that listing. So I've already created mine before. If you want to create that listing presentation, you can email me and ask me how. I have a quick 4-minute video. But this listing presentation has a picture of the homeowner. It says, hey, it's prepared for this homeowner, that address. And as you go through, this talks about all the automation that we do. It doesn't mention our company. It mentions you and your office. And it says, this is what I do to sell a home, right? Every picture, this is what yours is going to look like on my email. It's what it's going to look like in this, and what I have single property websites and virtual tours, right? Let me tell you, it's this page right here that's closing the deal. And when you're at the kitchen table with a homeowner, you say, hey, homeowner, why don't you take a picture of that QR code now that you know how that works? And they're sitting there, and this little link pops up. They click it, and their home is sitting on their phone with lead capture built in. So it really builds the case along with the whole rest of this presentation of everything that you do. It doesn't say that listings leads helping you do this. It just says, this is how I market and sell homes. And honestly, it's difficult to compete against all this. And that's why every client that I have introduced this to for about 3 months has won every presentation they are on. My email, everybody, my email, if you need any of these, I'll send you all my I have 4 emails that I send out. Is Vince Listings to Leads. You can find my email on the website. And if you need a team account or a broker account, you can talk to me about that as well. But I appreciate you guys being here. I hope this is making sense to you. Farming it's serious. If you're in the business, you need to have a really solid plan for that. I was talking to a realtor last week, long time, 25 years in the business. It's just, she goes, but she was having business come to her from a certain area, right? A certain area. And now she's moved. And so she's got to rebuild. And I'm like, this is how you do it. Now you can hit these people with email, with print, and with ads. And that's going to be really, aside from getting a sandwich board and walking around the neighborhood, this is going to be probably the most effective, efficient way of getting these sorts of leads. So you're welcome to email me at Vince at Listings to Leads if you want this document or any of these things that we've been talking about today. If you have questions, reach out to me. We do have a great support team inside the platform. They are super fast. We always get compliments on them. They're down here, support. But don't forget this. Let me send this to you right now. And this is coming to you in the comments panel. We've been doing this for 16 years. There's no company even close to all that we can do. It just doesn't exist. You should take the time to learn how to unlock the value, because if you're going to be in real estate for, I don't know, 2, 3+ years, this is going to help you build out your business. Even if you're going to be in it for 6 months, it will help you get leads, right? But we've had clients go from 2-year rookie to 24, their own office with 24 agents, right? And we've helped people double and triple their business. They know how to use our system, and that's just the difference. So thanks, everybody. Appreciate you being here. I hope you have a good fall. But one last pro tip. Remember, I talked a lot about Facebook, and I talked about the cost of leads on Facebook. Every year around Thanksgiving, a lot of your competitors are going to take a nap for the winter. And the cost of leads will drop. And I've seen the cost of leads drop by 90%. That means you would be getting leads for 10 cents on the dollar. Don't take that break. Take advantage of that time in December and January when everybody's like taking a break or doing whatever, and build your database with low cost leads. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.